Once upon a time, vegetable gardens flourished in backyards, bursting with colors, textures, and flavors that have since faded from our tables. Before supermarkets standardized produce, families cultivated a rich variety of vegetables, some bold and vibrant, others delicate and deeply flavorful, each carrying a story, a tradition, and a taste of the past. But as farming practices shifted towards mass production, many of these once beloved vegetables were left behind, replaced by crops that prioritized efficiency over diversity. Today, at Stellar Eureka, we're digging deep into 20 incredible vegetables that have been nearly forgotten, but are ripe for a comeback. With its towering silver-green leaves and striking purple flowers, the cardoon could easily be mistaken for a wild thistle. But for centuries, this Mediterranean native was a culinary treasure, its tender stalks valued for their artichoke-like flavor with a touch of bitterness. Once a favorite in European kitchens, particularly in Italy, Spain, and France, the cardoon was traditionally blanched and slow-cooked into stews, gratins, and broths. In Navarre, it was a must-have for Christmas feasts, while in Italy, it found its way into everything from warming soups to crisp, battered delicacies. Even early American settlers once grew it in home gardens. Yet, as modern farming prioritized easier-to-grow crops, the cardoon slowly faded from common tables. Today it remains a beloved ingredient in regional cuisines, though far less common outside of specialty markets and heritage gardens. From a towering Mediterranean classic, we turn to an onion that rewrites the rules of gardening. One that doesn't just grow, but moves across the landscape in a way that feels almost alive. Imagine an onion that moves on its own, replanting itself year after year, no gardener required. That's the magic of the walking onion, a name earned from its peculiar habit of marching across the garden. Instead of producing seeds, this hardy perennial grows tiny bulblets at the top of its stalk, which eventually topple over and take root in the soil, allowing the plant to walk to a new location. Once a staple in American home gardens, the walking onion thrived because of its low maintenance and year-round usefulness. Early settlers and farmers relied on its mild green shoots for fresh seasoning, while the stronger, pungent bulblets were used in pickling, soups, and stews. Some even compared its robust flavor to shallots or wild onions. Though it has quietly slipped from grocery stores, this onion's natural resilience and quirky growing habit make it a fascinating find for anyone looking beyond conventional crops. While the walking onion earns its name by marching through the garden, another forgotten vegetable once earned a place at the medieval table for an entirely different reason: its surprising sweetness hidden beneath the soil. Before potatoes dominated European cuisine, this plant was a staple in royal gardens and rustic farms alike, providing a hearty, reliable source of food through harsh winters. The skirret is a long-lost root crop known for its sweet, nutty flavor and tender texture. Unlike parsnips or carrots, skirret grows in clusters of slender, white roots that develop an even sweeter taste after frost. Historically, it was boiled, roasted, or mashed into creamy soups and savory pies, beloved for its smooth, almost chestnut-like richness. Some even compared it to an early version of mashed potatoes, centuries before potatoes arrived in Europe. Though it faded from large-scale farming due to its delicate intertwined roots, skirret is making quiet appearances in heritage gardens. Its natural resilience and deep historical roots make it a fascinating glimpse into the flavors of the past. Root crops like skirret were vital for winter survival, but not all forgotten produce grew beneath the soil. Some, like this next fruit, were wrapped in delicate husks and hidden like tiny golden treasures waiting to be uncovered. Despite its name, the ground cherry isn't a cherry at all, but rather a sweet, sun-ripened fruit hidden inside a delicate papery husk. Often called husk tomatoes, these golden gems were once a garden favorite among early American settlers, especially Pennsylvania Germans in the 1800s. With a flavor that blends pineapple, citrus, and a hint of tomato, ground cherries were a versatile ingredient, tossed fresh into salads, simmered into jams, or even baked into pies. Their natural sweetness and long shelf life made them a cherished pantry staple before commercial markets shifted focus to larger, more uniform fruits. Unlike their tomatillo relatives, these small fruits drop to the ground when ripe, making harvest a simple treasure hunt. Though largely forgotten in grocery stores, they still thrive in small gardens and farmers' markets, waiting to surprise those who take a second look. While ground cherries delighted with their tropical sweetness, another lesser-known vegetable stood out for an entirely different reason: its ability to mimic the taste of the sea. With its long, slender root and delicate purple flowers, Salsify might look like just another wild plant. But in kitchens of the past, it was a prized ingredient known as oyster plant for its surprising seafood-like flavor when cooked. Once a common sight in European and early American gardens, this nutty, slightly sweet root vegetable was a staple in winter cooking. It was often boiled, mashed, or creamed into hearty soups and stews, providing a rich, earthy depth to dishes at a time when fresh produce was scarce. Its greens were even eaten young, adding another layer of versatility. Though Salsify gradually faded from grocery stores, it remains a hidden gem for culinary enthusiasts, offering a taste of the past with every forkful. Salsify may have been known for its subtle elegance, but some vegetables made a name for themselves with bold color and unmistakable flavor. It was once so famous that an entire town was nicknamed Onion Town. The Weathersfield red onion was a staple of early American agriculture. With its plump, slightly flattened shape and deep red-purple skin, this heirloom onion was as beautiful as it was flavorful, a prized ingredient in kitchens from New England to the Caribbean. For generations, braided skeins of these onions hung from doorways and rafters in Weathersfield, Connecticut, a testament to their importance in trade and daily life. The town's hardworking onion maidens planted and harvested them season after season, ensuring their bold, sweet yet pungent taste spiced up countless traditional dishes. Though disease and shifting agriculture led to its decline by the 19th century, the Weathersfield red onion remains a symbol of culinary heritage, still grown by heirloom enthusiasts today. Not all staple crops were known for their intensity. Some earned their place in gardens and kitchens for their refreshing simplicity, a perfect balance of crunch, flavor, and versatility. A true garden classic, the straight-eight cucumber set the standard for crisp, refreshing flavor long before modern hybrids took over grocery shelves. With its sleek, dark green skin and perfectly uniform 8-inch shape, this heirloom variety was once a must-have in home gardens, prized for its tender flesh and delicate crunch. Whether sliced into summer salads, stacked on sandwiches, or turned into crisp pickles, the straight edge was a versatile favorite in American kitchens. Its high yield and disease resistance made it a dependable crop, thriving in warm sunlight and rewarding gardeners with weeks of continuous harvest. Though modern cucumbers have taken the spotlight, this variety remains a beloved staple among heirloom growers, proving that sometimes simplicity is the key to perfection. While cucumbers bring a cooling crunch to the table, other vegetables thrive in the heat, offering bold flavors and a touch of Southern tradition. A towering staple in Southern gardens, this heirloom okra once thrived in backyard plots and local markets, but has become less common outside of traditional regional cooking. Known for its extra-long, tender pods, Perkins' long pod okra was prized for its ability to grow up to 10 inches without becoming tough or fibrous, a rarity among okra varieties. Its smooth, green pods make it a favorite for gumbo, frying, and pickling, offering a delicate yet distinct flavor that defined countless family recipes. While okra remains a fixture in Southern and Creole cuisine, commercial farming has favored faster-growing, more uniform varieties, making heirloom strains like Perkins' long pod increasingly rare outside of specialty growers and home gardens. Yet for those who appreciate its history, flavor, and resilience, this variety remains a symbol of heritage cooking and sustainable gardening. Some vegetables thrive in the sweltering sun, while others flourish in the cool breeze of early spring, producing delicate, edible pods before the heat of summer sets in. With its tender, oversized pods and sweet flavor, the Mammoth Melting Snow Pea was a favorite among farmers for generations. Unlike garden peas, these were meant to be eaten whole, making them a go-to choice for fresh salads, stir-fries, and light spring dishes. Known for its extra-large tender pods, this heirloom variety earned its name from its mild, buttery flavor and ability to thrive in cool weather. Unlike common shelling peas, the entire pod is eaten, offering a satisfying crunch and subtle sweetness that make it a go-to ingredient in stir-fries, soups, and fresh garden salads. Before the rise of snap peas, snow peas like this one dominated kitchens, bringing a light, refreshing texture to seasonal dishes. But as modern hybrids gained popularity, the Mammoth Melting variety gradually faded from the spotlight. However, among gardeners and farm-to-table chefs, its tender, stringless pods and generous yields are fueling a quiet resurgence, proving that some classics never truly disappear. The delicate sweetness of snow peas makes them a welcome addition to crisp, refreshing dishes. But not all vegetables are so mild-mannered. Some bring fire to the table, adding bold heat and deep cultural roots to the story of forgotten crops. And from pale white to deep red, the fish pepper is as much a visual marvel as it is a culinary treasure. This heirloom chili has deep roots in African American food traditions along the Chesapeake Bay, where it was a key ingredient in seafood dishes dating back to the 19th century. Its unique albinism trait allowed chefs to spice up white sauces and cream-based soups, like the famed cream of crab soup, without altering their color. Once widely grown in Baltimore and Philadelphia, the fish pepper all but vanished in the early 20th century. It remained lost until the 1990s, when a small stash of seeds, preserved in a family freezer for over 50 years, was rediscovered. Now this pepper is making a flavorful return, reclaiming its place in mid-Atlantic cuisine. While the fish pepper adds fire to the kitchen, our next vegetable turns heads with its unexpected color. Once a prized sight in Old World markets, now a rarity on modern tables. A head of cauliflower is typically expected to be creamy white, but for centuries, a stunning purple variety has also flourished, though it has become a rarer sight in modern supermarkets. This vibrant cauliflower gets its unusual hue from anthocyanins, the same powerful antioxidants found in blueberries and red cabbage. Traditionally grown in cooler climates, this variety thrived in early American gardens, where its rich color made it a striking addition to market stalls and dinner tables alike. While its flavor is just as mild and nutty as its white counterpart, purple cauliflower offers a visual spectacle in both raw and cooked dishes. However, its hue can change when exposed to heat, sometimes fading to a deep blue or slate gray. Despite being a nutritional powerhouse, this heirloom variety has slowly faded from mass production in favor of more uniform cultivars, but it still makes an occasional appearance at farmers markets and specialty grocers. Vibrant colors may be rare in the world of vegetables, but they're not the only trait that makes a crop stand out. Some plants carry stories woven through generations, surviving on resilience and cultural significance rather than appearance alone. Not all carrots were always orange, and the dragon carrot is proof of that. With a deep purple skin that gives way to a fiery orange core, this heirloom variety looks as though it belongs in a medieval feast rather than a modern grocery store. Unlike the mild sweetness of conventional carrots, dragon carrots offer a bold, slightly spicy flavor with a hint of earthiness, making them a favorite among chefs looking to add both color and complexity to dishes. Centuries ago, vibrant carrots like this were commonplace, but as agriculture shifted towards standardized, uniform crops, unique varieties like the dragon carrot became a rarity. Fortunately, this visually striking and nutritionally rich root has reemerged in gardens and markets, celebrated for its stunning appearance and dynamic taste. Whether roasted, shredded into salads, or enjoyed raw, it's a reminder that vegetables can be both beautiful and bold in flavor. But carrots aren't the only root vegetables with a striking twist. Up next, a beet that breaks the mold, not just in flavor, but in its unexpected shape and history. Unlike its rounder counterparts, the cylindra beet boasts a sleek, elongated shape that makes it as practical as it is flavorful. With deep red, velvety flesh and a smooth, tender texture, this Danish heirloom earned the nickname butter slicer for how effortlessly it cuts into uniform slices. Its mild sweetness and earthy caramel undertones make it a favorite for roasting, pickling, and even juicing, where its slender form feeds seamlessly into machines. More than just a culinary delight, cylindra beet is a space saver, growing upright rather than spreading out, allowing gardeners to plant more in smaller plots. While it once thrived in traditional home gardens, the shift toward round, high-yield beets nearly pushed it aside. Yet today, it remains a prized choice among heritage growers, offering both efficiency and elegance in the kitchen. From this streamlined root with a rich past, we now turn to a leafy green that once withstood the harshest winters, bringing color and nutrition to the coldest months of the year. Before kale became a modern health craze, red Russian kale thrived quietly in home gardens, valued for its tender leaves, subtle sweetness, and cold weather resilience. Unlike the tougher, more fibrous varieties that line grocery store shelves today, this heirloom green was favored for its soft texture and rich, nutty flavor. Its frilly, reddish-purple leaves brightened dishes and offered a nutritional powerhouse of vitamins and antioxidants, making it a staple in European and North American kitchens. Tracing its roots to Siberia, where it withstood harsh winters, red Russian kale spread through trade routes, earning nicknames like Ragged Jack and Boricole. Though overshadowed by hardier kales, it never truly disappeared, thriving in home gardens and farmers' markets where flavor still takes precedence over uniformity. Kale's story is one of endurance, but our next vegetable carries an even deeper legacy, one that once signaled the arrival of winter feasts and the promise of sustenance through the coldest months. Once a staple of winter pantries, Hubbard squash was the heavyweight champion of the vegetable world, massive, thick-skinned, and built to last through the coldest months. With its deeply sweet, nutty flesh and velvety texture, it was a favorite for roasting, mashing, and baking into rich, golden pies. Thought to have originated in South America, squash like the Hubbard made their way north through early trade routes, eventually becoming a cherished crop among settlers in New England, where it was widely grown for its long shelf life. By the mid-1800s, Hubbard squash was a household name, thanks to a New England seed trader who popularized it in American markets. Yet, as farming shifted toward smaller, easier-to-handle varieties, this once reliable winter staple slowly faded from everyday kitchens. Still, heirloom growers and chefs are reviving this squash, drawn to its depth of flavor and historical significance. A reminder of a time when food was grown to nourish, not just to fit on store shelves. Hubbard squash may have endured the long winter months, but our next fruit has an entirely different survival strategy, one that allowed it to fuel explorers, flourish in the wild, and remain a hidden treasure for generations. Despite its name, Jerusalem artichoke has nothing to do with Jerusalem, nor is it an artichoke. Instead, this knobby, golden brown tuber comes from a sunflower relative, thriving wild in North America for centuries. Native American communities cultivated it long before European settlers arrived, relying on its nutty, slightly sweet flavor and dense nutrition. Rich in inulin, a natural prebiotic fiber, it provided steady energy and supported gut health, making it a staple food long before potatoes became dominant. When French explorers first encountered it in the 1600s, they likened its taste to an artichoke and sent it back to Europe, where it became a favorite crop, only to later fade into obscurity as agriculture shifted toward more uniform, mass-market vegetables. Yet, in modern kitchens, this rugged and versatile tuber is being rediscovered for its rich history and unique flavor, a connection to a time when food was shaped by the land, not by supermarket shelves. The Jerusalem artichoke's ability to thrive in the wild is remarkable, but next, we uncover a legendary heirloom corn, once revered for its extraordinary sweetness and resilience. When people talk about how corn used to taste, this is the flavor they mean. Before modern hybrids dominated supermarket shelves, golden bantam corn was the gold standard in American gardens. Introduced in the early 1900s, this heirloom variety quickly became a favorite for its rich, buttery sweetness and tender texture, a stark contrast to today's commercial varieties bred for durability over flavor. Golden Bantam's vibrant yellow kernels and full-bodied taste made it a staple for summer feasts, roasted over open flames or boiled to perfection. Its deep flavor tells the story of a time when local farms supplied family tables and fresh-picked corn was a seasonal highlight rather than a year-round commodity. Though pushed aside by larger, more uniform hybrids, this legendary variety is making a quiet resurgence, with dedicated growers keeping its true corn flavor alive for those who seek authenticity in every bite. Golden Bantam corn is a reminder of the golden age of harvests. But next, we discover a bean that's as visually stunning as it is delicious, a true work of art in the vegetable world. Scarlet Runner Beans are a feast for both the eyes and the palate. Unlike ordinary beans, this climbing heirloom variety boasts brilliant red blossoms that attract hummingbirds as much as gardeners. Originating in the mountains of Mexico and Central America, these vigorous vines have been cherished for centuries, not just for their striking appearance, but for their large, nutty-flavored beans that were once a staple in both European and American kitchens. Early growers prized Scarlet Runner beans for their versatility. The young pods were tender enough to eat fresh, while the mature speckled seeds were dried for winter stews. Even the flowers are edible, offering a delicate bean-like taste. Yet, as farming moved toward high-yield, standardized crops, this dual-purpose beauty faded from mainstream agriculture. Now gardeners and chefs alike are rediscovering its value, proving that some traditions are too vibrant to appear. Scarlet Runner Beans prove that food can be as beautiful as it is delicious. But our next vegetable tells a different story, a variety so delicate and rare that finding it today feels like uncovering a lost culinary treasure. Some melons earn a bad reputation for being bland and watery, but this one is different. With its buttery texture and honey-sweet flavor, the Crenshaw melon is a game-changer for anyone who's ever been disappointed by a cantaloupe or honeydew. A cross between the Persian melon and the cassava melon, it offers a juicy, floral sweetness with a hint of spice, making it one of the most flavorful melons ever cultivated. First introduced to American markets in the early 20th century, Crenshaw melons quickly became a summer favorite, prized for their sunny yellow rind and deep peach-hued flesh. Their high sugar content and silky texture make them irresistible whether eaten fresh, blended into smoothies, or paired with salty prosciutto. Yet, despite their unmatched taste, they remain an underrated gem, appearing only in select markets during their short midsummer to fall season. The Crenshaw melon proves that melons deserve a second chance. But now we turn to something equally remarkable, an heirloom tomato that redefines what a homegrown variety can be, with an unmatched depth of flavor and a size that commands attention. At the very top of our list is the Oxheart tomato, a striking heirloom variety with roots tracing back to Eastern Europe and Siberia, where it was cultivated for centuries before making its way into gardens across the world. Named for its distinctive heart-like shape, this tomato can grow into an astonishing 2 pounds, dwarfing most modern supermarket varieties. But its true appeal lies in its flavor, rich, sweet, and slightly tangy, with a buttery, almost melt-in-your-mouth texture that makes it perfect for fresh slicing, sauces, and even eating straight off the vine. Unlike the firm, uniform tomatoes bred for mass production, Oxheart's delicate skin and juicy interior have made it a rare sight in grocery stores. Yet, for those who seek out true culinary treasures, this tomato remains a favorite among heirloom growers, reviving the forgotten era when tomatoes weren't just red and round, but bursting with character, history, and unrivaled taste. While modern supermarkets have streamlined what we see in the produce aisle, the true diversity of nature's bounty is far richer than we often realize. These forgotten vegetables, once staples in kitchens and fields, each carry a unique history and flavor waiting to be rediscovered. Which of these caught your attention the most? Have you grown or tasted any of them? Let us know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this journey through time, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to keep exploring the wonders of nature with us. This is Stellar Eureka, signing off.